Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, passion for excellence. Dow Automotive Systems, improving durability and increasing design flexibility with Betamate structural adhesives at dowbetamate.com. And by Hyundai. Experience the 2011 Hyundai Sonata today at hyundaisonata.com.
This is Autoline Daily for January 14, 2011, and now the news. Looks like Toyota's come up with a way to deal with China's stranglehold on the market for rare earth elements. The Wall Street Journal reports Toyota may be on the verge of a breakthrough developing electric motors that do not need rare earth materials. And it sounds like a pretty simple solution. Instead of using permanent magnets, Toyota's motor will use electromagnets. General Motors and the supplier company Continental are working on the same thing. In fact, Continental says it will have an electric motor that does not use rare earth materials out this year for an unnamed electric car in Europe. And speaking of Toyota, the company is looking at moving more production out of Japan. Sounding more like a Detroit executive from the early 1980s, Akio Toyoda is blaming the high cost of currency. The strength of the yen reduced Toyota's operating profit by more than $1.4 billion last year. Toyota says it needs the exchange rate to be 90 yen to the dollar to keep production in Japan. Right now, the dollar is trading at 83 yen. And speaking of Japanese automakers having problems with currency, Bloomberg reports DAIHATSU is pulling out of Europe. The Toyota affiliate and well-known builder of tiny Japanese K cars, that's KEI cars, not like the K cars Chrysler used to make. It cites the rising value of the yen and upcoming carbon regulations as the reason for pulling out. Hey, did you know Daihatsu used to sell cars in the US as well? They couldn't make a go of it here either. But let's stay with the European market for a moment, because here's something I bet a lot of people don't realize. Last year, Audi was the top-selling luxury brand in Europe, outselling its arch-rival BMW, which, in turn, finished ahead of Mercedes-Benz. In December, Audi's deliveries jumped 16%, topping BMW's 7.3% gain and 4.2% for Mercedes. When you add in global sales, especially from China, Audi is now the top automotive luxury brand in the world. The former chairman and CEO of Delphi, once the largest auto supplier in the world, was cleared of fraud charges. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission had accused J.T. Battenberg III of misleading investors. But while a jury cleared Battenberg of fraud, they did find that he had misrepresented payments to General Motors. He will get fined for that. And ironically, Battenberg had made a big deal about being the first CEO in the United States to sign the Sarbanes-Oxley law, which was all about transparent financial disclosure. The energy company VALERO will invest up to $50 million in Mascoma to build a $350 million cellulosic ethanol plant in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. VALERO wants exclusive rights to all of Mascoma's cellulosic biofuels. The plant is expected to start production in 2013, delivering some 40 million gallons of fuel a year. This is not Valero's first move into the biofuels business. It owns and operates 10 corn-based ethanol plants and has invested equity in cellulosic ethanol companies, and it's also involved in a couple of algae-based biofuel companies as well. Raw material prices continue to rise. According to Bloomberg, palladium and platinum, which are used to make catalytic converters, will jump this year due to booming car sales in China and a drop in supplies. Currently, palladium trades at just over $800 an ounce, but that could hit $1,000 an ounce later this year. Platinum costs over $1,800 today, but that could jump to over $2,000 an ounce. And you know, it's only a matter of time before we see this reflected in the sticker prices of new cars. And speaking of adding costs to vehicles, The U.S. Department of Transportation issued new rules yesterday aimed at preventing occupants from being ejected from a vehicle during a rollover. The new rule requires automakers to develop a countermeasure for cars under 10,000 pounds that prevents an unbelted adult from moving more than 4 inches past the side window opening during a crash. The rule will begin phasing in during 2013, and by 2018, all vehicles will be required to have a system in place. The U.S. DOT estimates the rule will save 373 lives and prevent over 470 injuries a year. But to me this is crazy. You want to prevent people from being ejected in rollovers? Get them to buckle their seat belts. We all know that the Chinese are buying tons of new cars, but surprisingly, rich Chinese women are buying exotic sports cars more on a percentage basis than in any other country. Fiat says 3 times as many women in China buy Maseratis than in Europe. And for Ferrari, it's double its global average. And we can expect this trend to continue since the number of millionaires in China keeps growing, and the country has over half of the top 20 richest self-made women in the world. And I'm impressed. Chinese women obviously have good tastes in cars. Do you like to make things? Wouldn't you love to be able to get your hands on any kind of equipment to make anything you wanted? Well, there is such a place. They call it TechShop, and we'll show you what it's all about right after this.
Introducing Bridgestone's 3rd generation of run-flat tires with groundbreaking new Bridgestone technologies. Bridgestone run-flat tires offer improved ride comfort, lower rolling resistance, and improved wear while giving you the peace of mind and comfort you need.
This week we've got a special on-the-road edition of Autoline Detroit coming to you from California, where I take you inside a place called TechShop. What's TechShop? Well, think of it as a gym. You pay a monthly membership fee to use the equipment, but instead of treadmills and weights, it's got milling machines and welders and lathes. It's a place where anyone can create just about anything they want, and here's a little taste of my tour. Inside TechShop is all kinds of manufacturing equipment. There are CNC machines, welding equipment, laser cutting tools, drills, presses, rapid prototyping machines, and a whole lot more. In fact, there's just about everything you'd need to make just about anything you could imagine, and I do mean anything. That's because TechShop is open to anyone who wants to use it. It's kind of like joining a health club. You pay a monthly or annual membership fee, and you get total access to any of the equipment inside the building.
When you sign up for TechShop and you get access to all the tools and it's pretty much everything at your disposal, anything that you would need to make anything you want, we have.
Okay, and I'm also interested in classes.
Classes?
Welding and machining.
We've got all classes, mandatory classes, so you could have a MIG class, TIG welding, oxyacetylene. All classes are about 2 to 3 hours long, maybe 4 to 6 people per class, and it's all hands-on.
You don't know how to run a CNC machine? No problem. TechShop will teach you how to run and operate everything that it has. Better still, the prices for the classes are very reasonable. By the way, you can watch the entire show on TechShop on our website right now at AutolineDetroit.tv. But that brings us to the end of today's report on the top news in the global automotive industry. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on Monday.